Hello, this is about the identity the sciences share. I am not a doctor. There are recorded victims invested through time, needing to incapable of standing this. It is about the identity of positive, understanding, having this understood, having logic's actual identity of value progression understood. Shows that in how we have treatments of what is positive or negative, sense and sensibilities. For example, to use, I believe it's the writer named Jane Austen, um, her phrase. So there are five bonded semi-natures of one's, uh, six. I mean, not six, five, to show how the three are the identity of three in relationship to themselves, semi-natures of oneself, one identity of forever. That was a part. This is about human evolution. Where did it come from? This is about the identity bigger than algebra. That is its value. Its value, nature, its values nature system. We are value nature inside values nature. We are a value slash value nature quality of diffusion, where that slash is a value unceasingly, positive or negative, in relationship to these simultaneously three and simultaneously five, distinct and non-distinct, discernible, which is um with those five is the value of that further too, which is another discernible semi-nature of it. For example, within as really the identity greater than even the force, as what causes evolution's fruits and gifts here, as its identity of relationship to itself, and as the value of that, and or as what pushes it away, forces it away. Lethal IDs, force space nature transfer. What is nature? It is these. See the identity of forever, bigger than forever, was the value of all parts of everything at once. Everything has semi-nature relationship to itself. It's their complete nature. Like all parts of our body, our semi-nature relationship to our complete identity. Each individual has this identity of value progression that demonstrably too yin yang was revealed to teach by the ancients before semi-ancient criminal re-engineering of the human fact treatment nature, per a method that effectively had everyone fall for blaming other things, others themselves, for the real causes of negative value nature progressions, acts, natures, and self-valuing defenses of roles with that as logic. So this is logic racketeering because the five parts of logic's value progression system perfect are sequence true. The identity of sequence true, the value of that. This is values course, values nature's actual course. The value of that simultaneously with the value of the order of the finite, the small from before the smallest thing, while as the value of the smallest thing, the value of that order of that simultaneously with the order of sequence true. Two, the active. This is we are temporary slash lasting positive. Where temporary positive is making more and more positive or negative as a quality of diffusion humanity. As our relationship to this native identity of value progressions, identity of relationship to itself, too, no matter if you're, this is our humanity, this is our species, natures of volumes, actual value course, why we have value nature systems. Again, tactically altered from, even glorified through forced words on our founders per correlation. See, but we have sequence racketeering. And this is the sequence, and this is what algebra was revealed to teach. This identity of volume as forever nature took part of the value of space as its own value and simultaneously replaced it with more value by taking it away from it and by taking away the value of part of the value of existence. This is why existence and space are temporary positives, but they're also lasting, increasing nature of value as volume, nature of volume. And it has this identity of relationship to itself, the perfect value progression, which this is the Trinity is about this per science. Jesus Christ says he is the Alpha and he is the Omega. That's why he has the capital A drawn on the left side of his head, and he has the capital W, two connected V's standing for victory. Each letter of the English alphabet spells out a word. I figured this out. And each word spells out a sentence. For example, now this changes in relationship to this identity's identity of relationship to itself and the value of that per this other system though. And again, per treatments of positive that has these five. So then there's the active, then there's the progressive as a nature of volume as forever nature. Invisible but still discernible using science actually. And was again was sequence true and not denying the slightest exception. Not valuing them denied. Exploited directly or indirectly, indoor. And then identity's actual course. This is where each individual is simultaneously this complete identity of relationship to itself that can only be. But we're semi-nature can't become relationship to it, so it can't be us. It can't make more of itself through us, but one way. In many pray. So that's why we have in grouped areas, ages, sexes, this group nature of volume as its identity and its identity of relationship to itself with that parents, with the ages, remember, kids. This trinity has a value nature relationship to itself. Again, with a slash is unceasingly and is increasingly five natures of volume. Wherever there is value being made or having been made, it's more and more value to itself. But through and as a system that will only stay perfect. And when it's not allowed perfection through our species, our little species, no like with no criminal foreign influences, the rest of nature, especially legalized ones. So this is not just about identity which is the fifth part. This is where it's a simultaneously, unceasingly, a complete slash um a semi slash complete relationship to itself. But that's where and how this identity of relationship to itself, the only thing that is going to complete us. And see, this is also how they invested everyone as victims to justifications of positives treatments, of sensibility treatments, of private criminal enterprises as victims. But as victim and predators, you can't entertain that as logic, style, and relationship to this nature of value progression. What is nature? It is these five bonded values. I tell it best, Box sings. I tell us things. So yin yang cannot be separated. There are proofs that's why they would they would describe how the yin yang is drawn inside the capital letter O. The capital letters are always positive relationship to itself. That's why the top of the Z points back towards A. This is evolution's course. It is by what is value of all those identities of value slash value nature as each one of those letters. Again, as words, and as the value of words already, and as the value of their identities as nature of volume already. It's not just the numbers that are supposed to be juxtaposed with the letters here as our course, physics and metaphysics, where our words are this invisible but still discernible, prevented free speech in some ancient times. We'll examine the method of simultaneously, distinctly, abuse of even each position of the human fact-shaping nature. The highest rank, even be the highest ranking. I want to even put it in human titles as humanities to make it the fake sides individually grouped and together, and then because they have one with a time progression now system other. The value of time changes now. This is forever nature's course. Again, Boxings. This is the identity differentials course. The sequence natures. That means the identity of differential of what is positive or negative onto and as itself. This is about so the value of that first algebraic value transfer. Now this is where one nature of zero, as forever nature, made the phenomena of simultaneously there being three natures self-generating as the value of the part it took away from its complete self to add to its complete self and how that filled in. And this is identity as the nature of volume, as the nature of volume, increasing this nature of volume, invisible but still discernible, and forcing it, therefore forcing more value here from out of nowhere. Because this is invisible's identity and its identity relationship to itself, not only as an identity bigger than the four directions, bigger than all directions at once, smaller than the smallest thing, bigger than the biggest thing. It generated this. So existence is a semi-nature, has its complete value taken away from it, but in such a way where everything only gains value, positive or negative. Again, but this is for per fact treatments, per science that science now and scientific consensus and logic experts and opinions across the board. Originally still. Logic racketeering roles, nature, styles, defenses of it as sequence racketeering tools, breaching screens, as finite, order of the finite. This is why we'll examine about the distinctly and non-distinctly how they don't let each position of the human fact-shaping nature have free speech. So to show that what I'm trying to say between presidents, rather than you just show because I'm saying we have to read each other's dreams per the Native Americans, but not just because of them, because this identity of relationship to itself and the value of that is Native.